Good evening. Welcome to California Today. I'm Ling Zhang. Here's a preview of some of today's stories. Police and the FBI coordinated an arrest of the third suspect in the Sacramento gang shooting that killed 6 in April. We'll have the details on where he was found. The governor met with the Prime Minister of New Zealand last week. The two came together in San Francisco to exchange memorandums of understanding in an effort to combat climate change. And sheriff's deputies will be increasing patrols in Los Angeles. The move is targeting homeless people living on public transit, especially after several people have been harmed and killed by unhoused individuals. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi's husband was arrested and charged for allegedly driving under the influence of alcohol on Saturday night. Records show the 82-year-old's bail was set at $5,000. Paul Pelosi was booked into jail in Napa County, California at around 4 a.m. there on Sunday. He was released 3 hours later and charged with driving under the influence of alcohol. He was also charged with having the blood alcohol content over the legal limit. Both are misdemeanors. Napa County is located in California's Bay Area near San Francisco, the district that Speaker Pelosi has represented for decades. A spokesperson confirmed that Pelosi's office was aware of the reports, but told news outlets she won't be commenting on the incident. The spokesperson said that Pelosi was on the East Coast at the time of the arrest. The governor partnered with New Zealand's Prime Minister to tackle climate change. The purpose is to build a stronger framework for economic cooperation and trade.
Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern and Governor Gavin Newsom exchanged copies of memorandums of cooperation on Friday. The two signed a deal to cooperate on climate change.
Well, of course, the cooperation agreement that we've signed today, you see that very strong focus on environmental issues. And so that's today where we're really focusing in what can be delivered through this partnership.
The partnership aims to reduce pollution, bolster clean economy, accelerate the transition to clean energy and zero-emission vehicles, promote nature-based solutions, and more.
And it became even more important that we sign memorandums like we're signing here today with like-minded jurisdictions around the world. We did something called an MOU under 2.
The deal will foster collaboration, sharing of information, and emission-reducing research on climate projects. But not everyone is on board. Indiana Attorney General Todd Rokita and 14 other states filed an amicus brief on May 24th. They argue that federal courts should hear California's common law nuisance claims against fossil fuel energy companies rather than state courts. The state's goal is to stop California from using state courts to impose climate change policies on all other states. In a news release, Rokita said, "It is absurd to enable a single state's judiciary to set policy on a global issue that affects all 50 states." And a California court's finding against the energy companies would require the companies to change the way they operate, not just in California, but everywhere in the world they do business. A panel of the Ninth Circuit U.S. Court of Appeals recently ruled that California courts can make the decision. But the U.S. Supreme Court has shown precedent that interstate lawsuits are a federal matter.
The Los Angeles sheriff pledged to make local public transportation and coastal beaches safer this week. He plans to increase patrol presence and enforcement amid a rise in crime in the county's hotspots. NTD Cynthia Kai has the story.
Beginning June 1st, the Los Angeles Sheriff's Department will start the Operation Safe Travel program on metro lines. The program includes increased patrolling and enforcement to address the rising number of homeless people living on the trains and to curb reports of increased assaults in the last 6 months. Sheriff Alex Villanueva stressed the importance of safety for travelers on the metro lines after the recent attacks on passengers.
This is just illustrative. When you have that large of a population of homeless people on the system, bad things will happen because you have people that are under the influence, have mental issues, and they're in a place where people are vulnerable.
According to a count last August by the agency that operates the system, the Metropolitan Transportation Authority, there are about 5,700 homeless people on Los Angeles County's buses and trains. In January, a woman was attacked and killed at a bus stop near Union Station. Another passenger was pushed onto tracks by a homeless person at Willowbrook Station. In February, a homeless man was fatally injured by a train while sleeping on the tracks. Just last month, 2 female passengers were sexually assaulted at a train station. Another traveler was intentionally set on fire while riding the train.
This is what happens when people are actually living on the trains. They're not just living on the trains, they're also urinating, defecating on the trains. There's no restrooms on the trains. They will spend the entire day and night on the train. And this is problematic. And when they collide with the fare-paying passengers, as we've already noted, it can be with deadly results.
Similarly, deputies will also patrol beaches from Playa del Rey to Malibu during the summer months, known as Beach Patrol Mission. The officers make up the LASD's Sheriff's Response Team and the Mounted Enforcement Detail. The sheriff will also deploy the department's Homeless Outreach and Services Team to patrol the metro system and connect homeless people with services and mental health resources should they accept them. But Villanueva has been in a head-to-head battle with the Metro Board over enforcement. The board wants to search for alternatives to policing on trains. The increased patrols come as Angelenos are only a few weeks away from the June 7th primary election. Homelessness and the rise in crime are front and center issues for voters. Cynthia Kai, NTD News, California.
Over the weekend, security cameras caught a man slashing car tires in San Francisco. This comes amid rising crime rates in the city. NTD's Cynthia Kai spoke to one of the victims, though she asked to remain anonymous.
The San Francisco Police Department is reporting an increase in certain crimes throughout the city. Just this weekend, a young lady who wished to remain anonymous due to safety concerns said an individual slashed all 4 of her car tires while in the city. I spoke with her on Monday morning. She said the incident happened Friday during a night out with her friends and sisters. When they parked the car, she said there was already a car parked behind hers with a man sitting inside. Surveillance cameras revealed a man holding a knife and walking around her car. She alleges the man can be seen slashing the tires and then walks out of view of the camera. She told me when she returned to her car after dinner, the man from before was again sitting in the car behind hers. She called the police after realizing all 4 of her car tires were low pressure. She later realized they had been slashed. Arriving police confirmed the man sitting in the parked car behind hers was the same man seen in the video. He has since been arrested. The young lady tells me she has never seen the man before. She described the incident as surreal, scary, and lots of what-ifs. She says she's feeling better, though still shaken. In sharing her story, she hopes more people will be careful and alert to protect themselves and their loved ones. This incident comes as San Francisco police reports a continued rise in crime. The number of assaults, motor vehicle theft, larceny, and vandalism are all up compared to the same time period last year. And the city is reporting a 9.3% increase in crimes overall compared to the same time last year. NTD reached out to SFPD for a comment. Cynthia Kai, NTD News, California.
Los Angeles County is responding to the baby formula shortage. One of the LA supervisors said the county will work to distribute the formula to families and babies who need it.
Los Angeles Supervisor Hilda Solis announced that the county has purchased $750,000 worth of baby formula to fight the current shortage. In a May 27th statement, she said she knows that many parents and caregivers have been worried and anxious due to the shortage of baby formula. Solis said the first shipment is expected to arrive next week. She added that the county will work with nonprofit agencies, health clinics, and through the county's food distributions to ensure families and babies most in need receive it. Food and Drug Administration officials have warned that supplies will not return to normal levels until July. The closure of one of the nation's largest manufacturing plants due to contamination sparked the shortage.
We're going to take a short break, but here's a look at what we got for you when we come back. And hydropower is likely going to take a hit this summer. Low rain and snowfall for the year has left this renewable source of energy lacking. And electricity prices will reflect it. That's according to the Energy Information Administration. Veterans came together in the Bay Area to share their stories of serving the country. That and more on California Today. The U.S. Census Bureau's annual population totals show that the trend of people leaving big cities in America is still continuing. The majority of the nation's largest cities are reporting declines. NTD's Jason Blair brings us the latest numbers.
According to the U.S. Census Bureau, 13 of the 20 largest cities in the U.S. saw a drop in population between July 2020 and July of 2021, 8 of those being in the top 10. San Francisco saw the steepest percentage decline in the country. It lost 6.3% of its residents compared to 2020. New York City lost 3.8% and Washington, D.C. 2.8%. Among the 7 in the list that gained numbers, the highest is Fort Worth with a 1.4% gain, with San Antonio and Phoenix following, each gaining just under 1%. When counting the 15 fastest growing cities by percentage with 50,000 people or more, the state of Arizona claims the most with 5 of the top 15, and Texas, Florida, and Idaho tying for second with 3 each. Jason Blair, NTD News.
The state's energy prices, which are already quite high, are likely to get higher. The ever-increasing drought could put a huge strain on hydropower, cutting it almost in half.
The Energy Information Administration, or EIA, said on Thursday that energy prices may increase by 5%. Government data shows that California already has the second highest residential energy prices. Only Hawaii is more expensive. Additionally, state energy officials warned that the state may lose power this summer during heat waves and wildfires. They said the grid lacks capacity. The EIA said hydropower may only account for 8% of the state's energy this summer compared to the usual 15%. A far below average snowpack this year is not helping hydropower either. On top of that, the hydropower reduction may lead to a 6% increase in carbon dioxide emissions due to using supplemental natural gas.
School buses are the new targets for catalytic converter theft. Over 100 have been hit in one of both California's and the nation's largest school districts, LA. Here's a look at what may be the cause.
Thieves have stolen 160 catalytic converters from Los Angeles Unified School District buses since January. Catalytic converters are a device that mitigate toxic exhaust emission. They use precious metals to get the job done. CBS reported on May 26 that the thefts have cost the district roughly $580,000 so far. An LAUSD spokesperson told the Epoch Times in an email that despite huge financial loss, student transportation has not been negatively affected. The rise in catalytic converter theft comes after LAUSD's police budget cut last February. The department lost 1/3 of its funding in response to defund the police protests. The school board also voted to remove school police officers from patrolling campuses. LA School Police Sergeant Rudy Perez previously told the Epoch Times that many officers left as a result of those changes. The school police ranks went from 510 to fewer than 300. LAUSD Superintendent Alberto Carvalho announced on May 25th, a day after the Uvalde, Texas shooting, that he will soon update school security protocols. The district is currently negotiating its 2022-23 school year contract with local teachers union United Teachers LA. The union previously advocated to keep school police off campus.
Memorial Day is celebrated throughout the U.S. to give homage to our fallen soldiers. NTD's David Lamb goes on board a World War II monument to hear stories from veterans.
Here in the Bay Area, it's an annual tradition for some to visit this USS Hornet ship. Now, for Memorial Day, locals came to honor the men and women who died risking their lives for the country. This former USS Hornet crew member served on the Hornet in 1968, and he came back to work on the ship for the last 22 years.
You don't learn patriotic feelings at birth. You have to experience and be part of defending our country, to actually learn and know what it feels like to be patriotic.
Fee was a busing mate and stood watch on the bridge.
Pride in our country, and there's a lot of veterans that if the worst case scenario happened, we would still be out there defending our country.
Two Rosie Riveters joined the workforce in the 1940s. They recalled their experiences during World War II.
It was a 6 weeks course in engineering drawing, and I learned to read and to draw blueprints. And so I got a job at Kaiser Shipyard number 3 in the engineering department as a draftsman. I worked on the actual blueprints for the ships we were building.
She said she primarily worked with other teenage girls or military wives as the males went out to serve.
I came to California in 1944 when I was 18 and got a job in the shipyard as a pipe welder and worked there for 11 months. And I made $1 an hour during the week and $1.50 on Saturday and $2 on Sunday, and I got rich.
One veteran said what's most important weren't the war stories, but the people he met along the way. He shared a story about a strict captain he faced, but things turned around when that captain became his student.
He was a mean guy when I was a student, but he was a pleasant person when he was my student at Top Gun School. So anyway, that's a small story. Crashes and stuff like that are not important. I'm here in one piece with my beautiful family. Couldn't be better.
The United States ship Hornet CV-12 was an aircraft carrier and was awarded 9 battle stars for service in World War II. It is one of the most decorated ships in the U.S. Navy. Its air squadrons consisted of fighter, bomber, and torpedo squadrons.
Specifically, what has brought us down here today was so often on Memorial Day we forget really what it's all about, and it's a memorial, and it's to appreciate and give respect and remembrance to those that gave their lives in military service.
Pierce served 5 years in the Coast Guard.
I think to instill that in the boys and have them have an opportunity to really spend a few hours appreciating that is very important.
The boys were delighted to see the fighter jet in person, comparing it to the new Top Gun movie they watched.
I thought it was really cool because got to see what type of planes they were actually using in the movie. And yeah, because you didn't get to see so much of the plane in the movie because they're flying them and all that type of stuff.
And then also the plane was really cool to see up. I liked the missile on it. It was pretty big.
The USS Hornet is one of the 24 legendary Essex-class aircraft carriers constructed during and after World War II. Today, it serves as a museum in Alameda, California, for those that want to appreciate its history and commemorate the nation's heroes. David Lamb, NTD News, California.
Six Flags Discovery Kingdom opened a new ride this past weekend. It features a spinning roller coaster and live reptiles.
The new Sidewinder Safari Coaster officially opened to the public. Guests are taken in a spinning roller coaster that features real live encounters with various reptiles in a jungle-like setting. In a press release, the park's general manager said, "This unique combination continues Six Flags Discovery Kingdom's long legacy of promoting animal conservation through education and solidifies their place as the thrill capital of Northern California." The ride consists of 360-degree sideways spins, rapid strike drops, twists, and turns. Each car accommodates up to 4 people. There is 1,378 feet of track and is the theme park's 11th roller coaster.
Now to NTD's Thomas Christian for an update on sports.
I'm Thomas Christian, giving you the California Today Sports Roundup. Golden State Warriors forward Draymond Green said the team's trip to their 6th NBA Finals in 8 years feels different.
now that he, Stephen Curry, and Klay Thompson have taken the mantle as veteran leaders. The Warriors completed a gentleman's sweep of the Dallas Mavericks with a 120-110 win in Game 5 of the Western Conference Finals in San Francisco on Thursday. They will face off against the Boston Celtics, who beat the Miami Heat in a 7-game Eastern Conference Finals series Sunday night. They are led by young superstar Jason Tatum, a formidable 6'9" forward who can get a bucket at will in the half-court possession. Behind Tatum, 2022 Defensive Player of the Year Marcus Smart looks to disrupt the Warriors' offense, and all-star wing Jaylen Brown has the athleticism to drive to the basket whenever he wants. The Warriors and the Celtics played 2 times this season, splitting the games 1-1. Many analysts in the national media believe this NBA Finals could go 6 or even 7 games. The Dubs won titles in 2015, 2017, and 2018, but their dynasty days looked like they could be over when they won just 15 games in the pandemic-shortened 2020 season. They missed the playoffs altogether last year before roaring back this season. The Warriors this season have been powered by Curry's shooting, breakout performances by Andrew Wiggins and Jordan Poole, and most importantly, the return of Klay Thompson after he missed 2 full seasons with leg injuries. A versatile and passionate player who has been called the team's heartbeat said he relished proving the doubters wrong. While he said he feels gratitude for the moment, he added there was no time for the Warriors to rest on their laurels with the finals looming. Tip-off will be June 2nd at Chase Center in San Francisco. We don't know if Dodgers minority owner Todd Boehly calls it football or soccer, but we do know that a deal was confirmed between the British soccer club Chelsea and a consortium led by Boehly, buying out former owner and Russian oligarch Roman Abramovich. Abramovich was forced to sell the club earlier as a sanction for his ties with Putin and Russian money after the invasion of Ukraine. The sale was reportedly for $3.2 billion. Between the sanctions on Abramovich and now, Chelsea was banned from signing or selling their players. Anyone already under contract was fine, but that meant Chelsea was at risk of losing its players whose contracts expired in that time frame. Now, Boehly and his group, which includes Clearlake Capital and Swiss billionaire Hans-Jörg Weiss, will need to get to work signing new players this summer in order to get back to the top of the British Premier League table. As for us in California, we can expect a few more friendly match appearances from the club this side of the pond.
And that's all for sports.
And that's all for tonight. You can join us again on California Today every weekday at 8:30 p.m. If you have any news tips or ideas for our show, or just want to let us know how we're doing, our email is california.today@ntd.com. I'm Liang Zhang. Have a wonderful evening.